What's going on, guys? So we have more trade news, and this one actually happened at around midnight Eastern. I was happy. I was chilling last night, getting my schoolwork done and whatever. And then, people on the East Coast were probably sleeping. I was chilling. And then the notifications dropped from Woj and Shams, and there we go. More trades came in. We were thinking, what are some other big trades that would happen yesterday other than the Chris Paul move, and we got something. And two big trades, and they both had to do with the Milwaukee Bucks. So let's first talk about the first piece of news that dropped. So this was actually very interesting. So the Milwaukee Bucks received Jrue Holiday, giving up, and this is probably the biggest part of the trade, Eric Bledsoe, George Hill, 3 first-round picks, including 2 pick swaps. So this is a very big haul for Jrue Holiday, and I think it's fair to say now that after all of these years of him being called underrated, which I agreed with, I don't think we can call them that anymore. I think we can say that he's properly rated because the haul that the Bucks gave up to get him is huge. So Jrue Holiday now part of the Milwaukee Bucks. There were some other teams that were trying to get him, like Brooklyn and Boston. They weren't enough. The Bucks were able to get him, and that alone is a huge W for Milwaukee because Eric Bledsoe has just not been doing enough for the Bucks on that point guard position. And Jrue Holiday is someone who is, and he has proven that he can be that well. So I think pairing him up with Giannis is great because Giannis now has some actual proper ball handler and a good playmaker who can also space the floor. That's great. So that alone made this team a huge upgrade, and it was a huge dub because with Jrue Holiday, you now have a really interesting starting lineup because now you have Holiday, you have Middleton, and Giannis. So that alone was really good. So once that news broke, everyone's like, oh, okay. Because at first, the way the news dropped was originally supposed to be, okay, Jrue Holiday for Eric Bledsoe and George Hill. And I was like, okay, that's not a bad trade for either side, to be honest, because New Orleans can just flip those assets. But then when you hear about the picks and the swaps, New Orleans is not losing this trade either. Yeah, they have Eric Bledsoe and George Hill, who I don't think fit really well with what New Orleans is trying to do, but they're basically set up for the future, I think. And man, 3 first-round picks and 2 pick swaps. And you don't know, they're probably not going to be lottery picks because the Bucks are just a good team. And they're probably not going to be that bad to the point where they're going to be in the lottery. But still, that's a decent amount of picks. And, David Griffin knew what he was doing with this trade. He knew that he's setting himself up and he's setting this team up for the future. This Pelicans team already is a young team that has a lot of potential. You have Lonzo Ball, you have Zion, you have Brandon Ingram. That already is a good 3. And then you add Jackson Hayes and then all the other picks that you're going to probably get. The Pelicans are in a good spot. I would say that originally this would have been an L trade, but with all those picks, I can't say. But I think the Pelicans definitely didn't lose this trade, and they definitely didn't get fleeced because the Bucks made a huge risk getting him. Jrue Holiday is great, and I love him, but is it going to be enough? We'll see. But then once that trade went down and everyone was processing that, another Bucks trade went down this time, and this one to me is honestly a bigger W than getting Jrue Holiday. The Bucks got Bogdan Bogdanovic and Justin James for Dante DiVincenzo, Ersan Ilyasova, and DJ Wilson. So Bogdan is a huge W, probably a bigger W than getting Jrue, to be honest. Because now you have a reliable shooter, a scorer, who is great at floor spacing, and that is huge for the Bucks. Because think about how the Bucks have been playing for the past couple of years and why they haven't done well in the playoffs, right? The defenses on the other teams have done such a good job of being able to figure Giannis out. They basically just have to create like a defensive wall around him, and you would think that, okay, the wall is going to be built around Giannis, and that's going to allow people like Middleton or Bledsoe to other guys to get involved, but that just hasn't happened. And as good as Middleton is, he's not that playoff performer that we would expect him to be, or we would hope him to be. So, getting someone like Jrue Holiday, getting someone like Bogdan who can shoot, who can space the floor, someone who you can kick it to when Giannis needs the help, that is huge. And, that is going to be a huge upgrade for Milwaukee. So, we all know what the goal is with this trade. It's to keep Giannis happy and hopefully sign the Supermax next month. But I don't know if he's going to sign the Supermax. Actually, he probably will. It is a lot of money, but I do think that this trade does certify that Giannis will probably stay in Milwaukee, which sucks for me because I would have loved to see him go somewhere else just for the sake of it being interesting. I would have loved to see him go to like Miami or Toronto or even Phoenix or other places, even the Bulls. It would have been nice, but I do think that at least the Bucks management is showing to Giannis that like, hey, we want you here and we're going to do everything we can to keep you here and make you happy. We want you to win a championship here in Milwaukee. So I think that making these trades at least gives that impression off to Giannis so that it convinces him enough to be like, all right, I see what you guys are doing. I'll stay in it. Even if it doesn't work this time, at least I know you're going to be working with me and we're going to do it eventually. That's what their mindset is. Is that going to work? We'll see. I mean, no one. If you're making predictions off of what's going to happen, you're stupid because you don't know what's going to happen. This is so unpredictable. But I think the one thing that we can say is that this is a massive risk for the Bucks because it's not guaranteed, right? At least of right now, that Giannis is going to stay. And we're just thinking, assuming he doesn't sign the Supermax, right? You gave up a lot to get two guys who are definitely short-term upgrades, but are they going to be enough even this season or even long-term to win a championship? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I think that they're going to be better than they were last year. I have them probably winning the East, maybe even getting the best record in the NBA. But other than that, I don't know. Can they make the conference finals? Probably. Can they make the finals? I don't know. Think about the other competition in the East. You have the Nets now with Kyrie and KD and maybe James Harden. We'll see about that. Miami's going to try to go back. Boston's going to try to get ready, fix some stuff up. Toronto's going to be there. Philly's going to try to do something. So we'll see. I mean, I do think that this move is definitely a good upgrade for the Bucks because if they're going to try to win now or at least get to the finals, this is a good spot. But is this going to work long term? We'll have to see. But yeah, I really like this trade for both teams, to be honest. The Bucks are getting what they need. They have a good amount of pieces now. That starting lineup, let's be honest, that starting five is ridiculous. You have Jrue Holiday, Bogdanovic, Middleton, Giannis, and Brook Lopez. That is a nasty starting five. And I think it's going to be hard to compete against that. Now, I have no idea what they're going to do with their bench. They have no bench depth from what I understand. And, they're going to try to pick off some players here and there. And we'll see what they end up doing. But that starting five is nice. But I don't know if that bench is going to be enough for them. We'll see what happens. Maybe it is enough. We don't know. Yeah. So that's basically it for the Bucks stuff. And, okay, I'm basically done talking about the Bucks. But for the sake of this, trying to get to over 10 minutes, let me just quickly say this. So right as I'm tweeting this, right as I'm recording this, I got a notification from Shams that apparently there's talk about a Westbrook and John Wall swap with Houston and Washington. I don't know what that would happen. I have no idea why this would be a possibility, but it's something that's being talked about. Shams just tweeted about it, so we'll see. James Harden apparently really wants to go to Brooklyn, and Brooklyn is trying to throw everything they can to get him, but Houston is being very weird, and they want everything. The Rockets want everything because it seems like they're going to try to blow it up, but I have no idea what you're going to get back from Harden. I don't know why Harden's trying to go to Brooklyn. In my opinion, I don't think it's a great move. We'll see what happens, but if Harden goes to Brooklyn, that's breaking the NBA. The big threes are back. We thought they would be going away. We thought we'd get some parity. We'll see. But, I mean, yeah. The offseason is very interesting so far. Let's be honest. We've had only two big moves so far, but those moves have been very significant for those teams involved. So, I mean, this offseason went from being potentially super dull to very interesting. And what's even crazy about it is the draft is tomorrow. Literally 24 hours from now is the NBA draft. And teams are going to make moves, trade up, trade down, stay there. We don't know what's going to happen with that draft tomorrow. And it's going to be very, very interesting. So I can't wait to see what happens with that. Obviously, I'm going to be rooting for my Bulls to see what they do at number 4 or whether they do to trade up or trade down. The Bulls have been very quiet this offseason. Apparently, they talked about trying to get Kemba. I have no idea how I feel about that. But we'll see what they do tomorrow. So my next video will be tomorrow. I'll probably just give my initial thoughts on what the Bulls do. I want to talk more about the draft, but I think I'll set that for another video. I think that tomorrow, I think it's best because the draft is going to be happening at that time. I think it's just a better idea for me if I just like see what the Bulls do and give my thoughts on it. Because look, I'm a Bulls fan, so I want to talk about what the Bulls do. I'm going to talk about what my team does, right? So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow to give my thoughts on whatever they decide to do. Hopefully we get something interesting. Hopefully something interesting comes out of it. We'll see. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this ramble. If you enjoyed, leave a like and comment down below what you think about the Bucks moves and just this offseason in general. It's very interesting. Let me know what you guys think about all the teams and all the moves that are happening. And yeah, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications because this is just getting interesting. We have the draft tomorrow, offseason starting, the trades. It's all interesting. So, and the NBA season's about a month and a half away. So, we got to be ready. I'm going to have all those prediction videos and all that stuff ready. So, I can't wait. Thank you guys for your continuous support. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.